A lot of thinking about WageCuckery, about how there's a lot of people that are still under the assumption that hard work brings the fruits of your labor brings reward, but really in reality it's a capitalist myth. It's something that the capitalists, the elite class, the managerial class will tell you: work hard and you're gonna make it. But they don't tell you that the ones that are working the hardest are literally in the fields picking all your food, literally breaking their backs, picking up watermelons. They're, literally out there in the sun with a hoe, basically weeding at any for any whatever reason. They're just literally out there picking strawberries or picking grapes, and that's hard work. I don't care what anybody says. I think that's probably some of the most hard work you can do, because especially with the psychological effect. A lot of the bices that work out there, man. It's like they're salt of the earth. They're just there to work. That's how they've gotten it in themselves. That's what they do. It's almost an identity for them, so they don't care. But I bet you if some people actually just sat and thought about it, or if they actually did decide, which probably it's not, it's probably for the best they don't. But imagine that you pick the food that people eat, yet people talk shit on you, and these so-called phony economists. Like anytime someone says they're an economist, I'm just like, okay, never mind. Yeah, this is the person's compromised. They will literally defend the economy. There's never been an economist that said, no, this is a stupid system. It's like it's not working. It's like, no, economists are biased and by every regard. I digress, but but yeah, no. Imagine that. But the worst ones are. It's not even the economists, but it's the worst ones are like literally YouTube personalities. A lot of these phony libertarians, a lot of these ANCAPs, a lot of these, so-called right-wing influencers. you know, Tim Pool that says always says he's like, center left, but he's 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 center grift. Center grift. Yeah, man. I was just thinking about it, man. I was just thinking about on my way back from where I came from. It's just, yeah, man. Tim Pool is at the state that he is now because Adam Krigler showed him the way. It's not the way. I don't believe that's the way to go. Honestly, I believe this idol worshiping of Trump it's not fruitful, and it's pretty beta. It's pretty cuckish. It's just like save yourself. It's like, oh, he's gonna save us. But either way, this idea that the right is the hardworking faction or the hardworking side of things. It's like it's asinine. It's stupid. It plays into everything that these corporations, these conglomerates. Of course, they want you to work hard. There's even studies. You can watch videos how companies want you to be stressed. There's like, the correlation that, that your stress levels produce more. It increases productivity. And if if that's true, then it's like, why would the company want to make your life better? Why would the company ever want you to succeed and do better? It makes no sense. It's like, of course they're gonna want to stress you out at that point. They're gonna probably say it's like, oh yeah, you guys are doing so great. Here's a pizza, yada 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 yada. But they don't care for the cortisol that's in your veins. They don't care for the, you know, the inevitable heart attack. That's gonna come to you. They don't care about the pounds that you will gain due to stress eating. They don't care. These conglomerates, they literally do see you like a number, and which is what you are. You are an asset and a liability at the same time, and they can decide whether or not how to treat you. So yeah, it's like, but this idea that the right is so into being hardworking is just basically just glorified wage cuckery. The right idolizes and idealizes hard work because it's virtuous of some sorts, but in reality, there's no way that there's nothing virtuous about giving the best years of your life to a company that doesn't care about you. There's nothing virtuous about being separated from your family for who knows how many hours just so that you can what exist. It's like what the hell, dude? It's like what kind of system? It's just so stupid because it's like most of the right is like literally like it's an identity for them. It's an identity. You don't know how cucked the right is until you go on. Check this out. I was on my For You page. A lot of what pops up every now and then randomly is oil rig workers doing the oil rigging. They're doing the oil rigses, and yeah, they look so hard working. You know, they're such hard workers. They keep the blood of America flowing. They keep the world flowing, and it's like they look. You know, it's like yeah, it's like the system that they got going when they're switching a rod out. I don't even know what the hell that shit is. It's like I don't give a fuck, but it's like yeah, it's like, you know, they got these guys in their tank tops and it's like ultra masculine. Some of them are smoking cigarettes and oh yeah, they're so dirty and they're just cleaning out this rod and they're wrapping the chain around the shaft and it's just and it's like, yeah, I know, it looks interesting, but it's like you do not know how cucked the right is. The so called, you know, the ones that don't get offended supposedly the anti snowflakes, you know. But you don't know how cucked you are until you literally type in something that's like you know, screw this. I don't want to work. I'd rather be with my family. You know. Next thing you know, you get so many people out there just saying, I was like, oh man, I work for my family. I spend 10-hour days. I work 12-hour days for my family. Oh, like it's like they can't there's no self-awareness. They can't understand what they're saying. It's like, bro, 12 hours separated from your family, anything can happen, you know, especially if like your wife is pregnant, you know. That like when I was working, you know, doing what I do, when my wife was pregnant, that was like some of the most hair-raising, you know, days I'd be out because you never know when she's going to give birth. You want to be there. You don't want to be out there in some bumfuck part of the woods. You don't want to be out in some oil rig. You know, it's like I'm working for my family. It's like yeah, and it's like everything that's happening to your family is happening while you're not there, and yet all you do is like what, you know. It's like especially for the oil riggers, it's like what, 6 months gone, you know, or you're 3 to 6 months. It's like nah, dude, that's stupid shit. That's fucking slave mind mentality. You know, it's just like it's like, dude, it's like we shouldn't be priding ourselves on how long we can be separated from our families. We should be literally be proud of how much time we can spend with our families and be thankful for that. You know, it's unpredictable, but it's like this whole idea. It's like, oh man, I work hard. It's like there is literally like Workaholics Anonymous. That's an actual thing. Workaholism is an actual thing, but we kind of leave that to the wayside because in our current lack of society, you know, it's like, or lack of culture, it's idealized this hustle culture, grind set kind of baloney, but it's like really, it's like we gotta start calling it what it is. It's just literally just dick riding for CEOs. You're just dick riding for CEOs, and it's understandable maybe if like you have your own business, but the people that have this mentality, it's like, come on, it's phony. It's phony as hell, man. I can't see it, man. Dick riding for CEOs and for companies that don't care about you. No, dude, it's very beta, very cucked, and unfortunately, or I don't even care. I don't even. It's the right that's perpetuating a lot of it. The only respite that you can experience during work that isn't just like spending time with coworkers that you like, and having having a joke, during break time or whatever, is the only respite that you can have is knowing that maybe that there's a union. If you're lucky to have been unionized, that's actually gonna be you know a road bump in the way of you getting fired for something that the company could easily have fired you over had you not been unionized. And it's funny too, there's this like weird relationship. There's a lot of like these like these red pilled, red blooded Americans that but it's just like it's like some of them are just like also like they love the union. It's like these guys are all about the union, but it's like these dudes that vote Republican, they're stupid Democrats are ruining our lives, but it's just like the irony of that is just like literally unions have been always been a staple of like they've been supported by socialists, communists, and anarchists. It's like you kidding me? It's like there's been times where at one point where certain unions, it's like they had a schism in their union because one of them decided that they wanted to have more of a democratic government style system, and one faction decided they wanted no, let's keep the union more anarchaic, who knows. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird, it's like a lot of the people on the right, man, they don't know what they want. And it's like, and then they complain that the economy's bad. It's like, shit, dude, this is exactly how this is supposed to play. You don't think that the people at the top ain't making money? You don't think that the people at the top, ain't, fixing a way to, make the system work to their benefit? It's like COVID, the biggest exchange of of wealth happened during COVID, when we were told that the populace, me myself, I worked for Amazon at the time, so I stayed working. It's like maybe I should have. Maybe who was the dummy there? But it's just like the greatest exchange of wealth from the I don't even care from the public to the private or whatever. I was like that all happened during COVID, man. And like who were the ones that were getting all the what's it called, the benefits of being in business? It was literally all the corporations, Amazon, Walmart, Target, every, major chain grocery store. They all stayed up. But every other little mom and pop was for, come on, you can't, this is the age of information. It's like there's no excuse for this now. It's like there's never been there shouldn't have been an excuse. I think maybe like once 2010, yeah, once 2010 or 2008, once that internet started becoming more prevalent in the household, there was no excuse to be stupid about something. It's like, especially with phones with internet on there too, you were able to do anything on your phone. So this whole idea that it's just like, oh no, we were bamboozled, it's like, no, you were just asleep. This shit's been happening to everyone, to all of us. Yet, oh my god, I didn't know. Oh, we can't be at fault. It's like, no, it's like literally, it's like you were a part of the issue, you were a part of the problem. But there's no accountability, man. It's because partially we've all been feminized, and a very feminine thing to do is not take accountability for your actions. That's a very feminine thing to do. Very female. Oh man, don't even get me started right. Yeah, very, very weak and feminine type of reaction to anything. It's like, oh, I couldn't have been. It's like it wasn't our fault. It's like, no, I'm not also on the phony Jocko Willick. Everything's your fault. It's like, no, that's damaging too. But we all have to like take kind of like it's cringy too. It's like, yeah, it's like we all it's a society. Have to take a look at ourselves and what we're doing. But that's not gonna happen because if no one mans up to it, it's like it's like mob rule. Everybody throws a rock at a building and destroys it. It's like, who's really to blame? Everyone's to blame, but no one's gonna say anything. It's like, I mean, that place was already destroyed when I got there. But it's like, yeah, you added to it. But yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, this society that this asocial society that we live in is forcing us to believe that we have to work you know, or at least work more than what we're expected to. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to do. I drive for a living, so it's like, but you know, but yeah, no, I can imagine being in another job. Like, well, when I was doing Amazon, man, I was already kind of like, based, at that point, and I wasn't even really too political, really. And but I was just like, nah, dude. It's like, what the fuck, dude? There's no incentive to deliver more packages. There isn't. If there is a DSP that actually works off that kind of structure, then be my guest. It's like, be the fastest delivery driver out there, delivering 30 to 50 packages, like an idiot. You know, going across people's lawns, driving erratically, cutting people off. If that's you, then that's fine. If you're becoming essential to the company, for sure. But if they're paying you more, but I was working at Amazon, and there were so many people that were just like, they took literally that job so seriously. We were all getting paid the same, but there were so many people out there that was just like, yeah, man, I'm delivering 30 to 40 packages an hour, blah blah blah. Meanwhile, I'm at like 14, 20. I was chilling, because I was just like, nah, this is a job. It's fine, It's like I'm still getting my days, but it's just like, I'm not breaking my back. It's like every package you deliver, that was the DSP gets money for that. So of course they're gonna tell you to deliver more packages. They're gonna tell you gotta squeeze the sponge. Come on, man, you gotta get your numbers up. I'm just like, what's the point? It's like I heard a story about one of our employees at the time. He left before we did, but it was just like he was asking for a raise. Because that's what you're supposed to do, right? You ask for raises. You ask for raises because that's what we do in a meritocracy. You ask for what you want, and most likely you're going to be given it because that's what we're told through movies and shows. It's like, if you ask and put the work in, you will be rewarded. Kind of baloney, phony baloney kind of shit. But yeah, no, he asked for a raise, and the boss said, "I'm gonna get you a raise. I'm gonna grant you a raise." The funny thing though, it was just like, he told me later on that after he got his raise, he asked everybody else, all of his homies, everybody got a raise. It was just, that was just the thing. The dude suckered him into thinking that he was special, when in reality it was just like, dude, he was probably busting his ass for what, just so that he can get a raise just with everybody else. It's like, nah, dude. Screw that, man. If you don't have to, don't do extra, man. This whole like thing, like becoming becoming indisposable, becoming expendable. It's like, dude, you are expendable. Since the day you signed up, anything can happen, man. So I don't know, man. I'm not for this whole like no working, but I don't know, man. Every year that I work, man, I can't stand work. I can't stand the structure of it, and to tell you the truth, man, going on your own, unless you have something that's guaranteed, it's just like taking a risk, man. There are more startups that fail than there are that succeed. So just let that sink in, man. Let that sink in. So it's just like, unless you're getting into literally like, drugs, or I don't know, food. I mean, even then with food, it's hit and miss. Not everybody that gets into a taco truck, makes it. It's like, it's hard out there, man. I don't care what anybody else says. It's like, yeah, an entrepreneurial might be the way to go if everything is in place. It's like, oh, you just have to take the risk, bro. It's just like, shut the fuck up, dude. It's like, none of these people have probably had the money. Like, these people are on loans. And even then, that's the dumbest thing ever. You don't want to go on loans. It's like, you want to, like, you want to take a risk and get a loan from a bank, and then yeah. Don't listen to other people's advice. Do what you gotta do for yourself, man. If there's a risk that you can take, that, hey, it's no skin off your back, do it, man. Whatever.